Hello. I wonder if anybody's still there. That's okay. I am ready to begin WESTWORLD now, okay? So, if you are here for WESTWORLD, take out your music, okay? I already have mine in my file folder, all right? Now, quick reminders. If you want to share this video, please do so. Remember, every single share that you do is very, very helpful for me as I am going through reaching tons and tons of people, right? So being able to share the video helps me quite a bit, all right? The second thing is please subscribe on YouTube. You can just search Izzy Chia and you'll be able to find me, okay? I have this really fancy thing now. Woo! Subscribe on YouTube. And then the third thing is of course, please join the private Facebook group, right? So if you need help on some of the stuff that we're learning here, drop a question, drop a video, ask for help, scream for help, whatever you need. Just search Encore Music Makers on Facebook and send in your request, okay? The last thing, of course, is if you want to support me on Patreon, I would really appreciate it. Patreon is a very easy platform for creators like myself to earn a more steady income, since it can be few and far between when we get paid for our labor. So if these lessons that I'm providing you are helpful, if they're exciting, if they're fun, if you feel accomplished, consider helping pay my bills and sign up for a tier on Patreon, okay? Just search patreon.com/IzzyChia, okay? Now, let's get started with WESTWORLD. I'm very excited. So, for WESTWORLD, we had been basically working on all of page 2, I think. Let me see here. Yep, we had started at the top of page 2. And we had gone all the way to the bottom of page 2 minus 1 measure, okay? So you want to make sure that you are, oops, I'm a little laggy. Hopefully it's working okay. Let's see here. Okay, hopefully that's okay. Okay, so if you look back, we were working on page 2, okay? It had a lot of accidentals, it had a lot of really intricate rhythms and things like that. So please, when we go through it, if you're not quite ready to play hands together, play it hands apart, okay? There's no pressure here. If you want to play it hands apart, you're more than welcome to do so, okay? So I'm going to start at the top of page 2, okay? Remember, we are in A minor, okay? So there are no accidentals, all right, that are in the key signature, minus the... because we're playing harmonic minor scale, we have a raised 7th tone, okay? I'm going to switch to piano view, and I'm going to find my spot here on the piano. All right, and I'm starting here. All right, so starting at the top of 2, I'm going to count off very slowly, because I don't really know what's going to happen here. It gets really tricky when it gets to part 3, okay? So I'm going to count off. 1, 2, ready, play. Now that was tricky, okay? I had issues with it for my practice this week too. Mainly the part that was really making me confused was when we got to part 3, the second measure of it, you notice that the pickup to the second measure of part 3 is actually the part of the right hand that's in that pattern, but that it comes in a little bit earlier than what I'm used to. So I had to actually write lines from C, the beginning of that second measure of part 3. Let me show you where that is, because that might be kind of hard to find. Let me find it right here. Right there. You see that part right there? That chord, this one. I keep moving my pencil. That one right there. The C is lined up with the F. I had been practicing it with the A lined up with the F. And that had a lot of issues with me. So drawing that line really helped me discover that I was playing it about a 16th note off in terms of rhythm. So if you find yourself getting confused with that section too, I encourage you to go ahead and write those lines down as well. Okay, now looking back, I did drill my measure 17, you know, that kooky crazy measure. I've drilled that several times, but even today when playing through it, I still messed up. I wasn't quite anticipating all of the flats, so I think it might be a good idea for us to drill a little bit of that measure today, okay? And we'll do that now, okay? All right, I'm going to switch to piano view. Okay, here we go. Now, measure 17. I have a big old circle on it, okay? This is line 2, measure 2. Starts with that B flat, and then E. Right? So that's where I'm starting, okay? I'm going to count off slowly and see if I can do it. All right? 1, 2, ready, play. Drilling of measure 17, it's always a good idea to add in the first chord of the following measure, okay? Because then you don't automatically stop and try to figure out, oh, geez, where do my hands go after I play the hard part? Well, it might be better to end your drill after the first chord of the next measure so you don't encounter that anxiety, right? Let's play it again, okay? Measure 17 with the first beat of 18. Okay? All right, getting into position. 1, 2, ready, play. That's okay, we're going to play it again. All right, let's get back into position. All right, I am ready. Are you ready? 1, 2, ready, play. So that's the third time we played it through. Let's play 2 more times, okay? Starting back here at measure 17. This is that really crazy kooky part, okay? 1, 2, ready, play. Once more, all right? Here we go. In position. 1, 2, ready, play. Did a great job keeping up with me with that, okay? Now, as we are proceeding in this piece, we're learning the rest of the song today, okay? But I don't want to overload you too much, okay? We're only going to focus on notes for the most part. Don't worry about dynamics, all right? Don't worry too much about, it has some really long chords that we have to hold out at certain points. I don't want to worry too much about that. Let's just focus on notes to start, okay? So let's start with the right hand, the bottom line of page 2, the last measure, okay, that where I drew the double bar before. That's measure 21, okay? And all of page 3, the very last measure is 28. So it's just 9 measures, right? 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. Oh, 8 measures. 8 measures, okay? We can do 8 measures, okay? Let's start with that right hand at the bottom of page 2. Okay. Y'all are doing amazing. It's actually quite fun to see everybody's progress and to hear it. So we're starting here with our octave E. Let me count off. 1, 2. Ready, play. Okay, now talking a little bit about that section, when you notice it getting really ugly, it's typically very close to where I sort of fell apart, which was middle of page 3, where it has that B flat sustained sharp 4, measure 24, okay? That's kind of an ugly measure. So you might want to draw a box around it, put some brackets, a circle, something, okay? It's weird because it's got some really strange accidentals. You've got a B flat in your left hand that's sustained. You've got an E natural, right? That's a tritone. That's why it sounds so weird. And then your right hand comes in with this 16th note pattern, right? It's a little bit weird. So we'll have to break it down a little bit, okay? So looking at just measure 24, right hand only, we are sustaining an E. And then we repeat that E. Right, there's your tritone. E. Yuck. But that's what's written, right? Even if it sounds ugly, that's how it sounds, right? So let's try that measure. Rest. And then it changes. Is C, E, G sharp, A. Okay, that's one that is a little bit more pleasing to the ear. And luckily we only get the tritones for 2 beats. It's not so bad. All right, let's try that measure once more. Measure 24, right hand only. Okay, I'm going to count off. 1, 2, ready, play. Okay, now let's see if we can check out the left hand now, okay? It's in that same rhythmic pattern though, right? So if you look back even before measures 21, when you look at part 2, way on the first page, look at part 2, left hand, you've got the pattern, right? You've got this octave divided into sort of triplet eighth notes, right, in order to achieve that 12/8 measure, that meter, right? This is perpetuated through the entire piece, okay? That's that machine, right? That's that automation, that's that computer, that's that humanoid, right? That consistent humming of a motherboard, right? If we're really talking about computers, right? the left hand is the hand to achieve that, okay? So it's imperative that it is even, right? It has to be. So that's going to be the tricky part of practice for this week, for this section of the song, okay? We're starting at the bottom of 2, okay? Measures 21 all the way to the end, okay? Let's see if we can just play through it one time. Okay. Okie dokie. I'm starting with a low D. Woohoo! Super low. I like these super low notes. I'm going to count off, and then I'm going to play. 1, 2. Ready, play. Remember, because it's an A minor, that last octave is an A minor chord, an octave, right? I almost played something different. No, it should have been A minor, right? I had to sort of think on the fly though, because I moved my hand too far low, and then I had to like quickly move it back. But that's okay. All right. Now, you notice it's the same consistent pattern, right? Those divided eighth notes. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, it's got to stay consistent, right? I'm gonna have issues putting these hands together for sure. Only because I know how I am. And I know that I'm gonna have to keep it hands apart for quite a while before I attempt it hands together in a very, very slow, consistent manner, right? I have the tendency to rush sometimes. And that is to my detriment. But I know if you are really good about keeping that meter, if you like a metronome, I'm not going to say you need to have a metronome, but if you like a metronome and you find it useful rather than anxiety inducing, then for sure, like, use your metronome, okay? I think they have the metronome listed here as dotted quarter note at 74. So, it's written at the top of your music if you want to look. All right? Now, I'm going to see what happens playing measures 21 to 28 crazy slow. Okay? I know at 24 it's sort of going to get real ugly, but I'm just going to see what happens. Okay? It gives me a baseline, right? It gives me a baseline of where I know I stand, right? And if I'm going to need a good amount of practice in a specific section or just a decent amount, right? And it may require an extra week of polishing, right? But let's just see. I'm going to start at 21, okay? If you want to play along with me, you're more than welcome to, okay? That's the beauty of these lessons, is you can do that. Okay, low D and an E. Okay, 1, 2, ready, play. Wow, what a contrast, okay? I want you to look at the end, okay? look at that measure 26, transition into 27. Okay, this is the last line. It goes from like total ginormous chords and loud fortissimo, and then it just completely drops all the drama, and it plays this very awkward, it's very much like measure 17. Very awkward, no pedal, sort of empty, mechanical type feel in this second to last measure in 27. And then it ends on a low A octave. It's very like mechanical and frightening at the same time. That's the sort of vibe that I'm getting at the end there. And if you remember the beginning credits of the show, it's got that vibe, right? It like fades to black, and have the silver W's, right? It's very it doesn't really allow for any deep thought or understanding beyond the shock value of what did I just see? It's just like, whoa. And I think that's what's so captivating about this piece of music is there's a lot going on, right? There's a lot going on in building this drama, right? But then the composer here, Raman Djawadi, he just had this like the audacity to just take the drama out and leave you this very mechanical, naked feel at the very end. It's quite extraordinary. So, let's see if we can just try the last four measures. Okay, so this is actually starting at measure 25, 26, 27, and 28. I want to start there because technically it's demanding, but it's also demanding musically because that's the climax of all this drama that we've been building. And then at measure 27, when he just strips away all of that drama and leaves it like bare, right? I want to be able to communicate that section as best as I can. Okay, so I don't know. Let's see what happens. Measures 25 to the end. Okay. Okay. So I'm starting here on this E octave for my right hand, and then I have a low F. Okay. This is going to be quite fun to practice, I believe. So really sort of embrace that this is the climax. Okay. All right. So let me count off. 1, 2. Ready, play. That is so cool. I'm not gonna lie. Like I really like this piece. I think that it just makes me feel powerful in a way, especially if you've been away from the piano for so long, to be able to come back and learn something so dramatic and so like earth shaking. It makes you feel really confident as a pianist. Okay, so keep that in your mind as you're doing your practicing. Okay, it's just kind of fun. So that actually concludes your WESTWORLD piano lesson number 3. Okay, hope you're feeling good. I hope you're feeling confident. I do want to again remind everybody that I am on Patreon. Yes, so if you like these lessons, if you are having fun, if you enjoy my teaching style, I know I'm a little bit flowery and expressive, but I don't know any music teacher that isn't. Just saying. Consider supporting me, right? So I'm on Patreon, again, a platform for creatives like myself. Choose a tier that works for your budget. Help support these lessons that I'm bringing to you every single week. just visit patreon.com/IzzyChia, and every dollar helps, okay? And then we've got, like, our music quote, right? We've got to end with a music quote. I do this every week, every lesson, because it's important. It sort of keeps you grounded, okay? So today's music quote comes from the American singer-songwriter Tom Waits. And this is what he says. I like beautiful melodies telling me terrible things. Huh, that's interesting, right? I know that, like, you know, when you have some pretty crazy things that you want to communicate that might, you know, completely change your world, giving it sort of the platform of a song or music can really help us cope better when we're going through such difficult or terrible things. I know that a lot of us have found refuge in music and learning instruments over the course of these last several months dealing with the coronavirus pandemic. And that's a testament to the power of music. So keep it in mind. Music is important. We're all realizing the value of it during these lockdowns that we've been having, and as a way to sort of grasp the depth of how serious it is in terms of people's lives and how it's been affecting them. So anyway, I hope you liked that quote from Tom Waits. Thanks again for joining me today for piano. It's been exciting. We are, like, making some really amazing progress, and can you believe it's only been 3 weeks? So keep it up, keep your practice up. I'll see you guys in the private group. Join me, and I will see you next week. Okay, get some good practice in. Take care, everybody. Bye.